I'm going to open the Port of Saginaw Commission meeting for June 21st at 7 p.m. First item is the public comment. Do we have anybody who'd like to speak today? You will be allowed 5 minutes, and we're going to limit 15 minutes for all public comments.
Our first speaker is Ron DeGroot.
Oh. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Ron DeGroot. I've talked to you before
Yes.
on the same subject. I just wanted to say that I saw on the agenda, I live in Portland, and I'm normally not here, but I live in Portland. And when I saw it was on the agenda, I thought, well, okay, I'm going to take a drive down. Besides, it's pretty easy for me to do because I kind of like Florence anyway. And so I'll take the time. I picked up Joe on the way down here as well. And I saw it was on the agenda. I thought it had been resolved, but apparently, no, there's still some discussion that needs it. And I thought, well, I still try to put my words in, and also hopefully the words of other people who are December members. I am a December member.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to have much of a discussion on that, but it is on the agenda.
Okay. Can I just say then that
Yeah.
I've been coming here for 20 years,
Yeah.
and I don't know if any of you remember Rose, but Rose was here in '97, and when we used to leave here at the end of the year, she'd always say, do you want to come back next year? Yeah. Would you like the spot you had? Yeah, I'd love to have it. Okay, great. I'll make sure that you got that spot next year, and that's the way things were. And of course, as things progressed, it started to change, and all of a sudden, the computers kind of got in there, and then they were trying to write rules for the computers, and I see that you pretty much addressed all those rules and have maintained it and decided that there's some issues, but yet those that were here and came and were December members, there were no new December members added, but in fact there were those of us who are not going to be coming at time in the future. They won't be replaced.
Yeah.
And but like I say, I've been coming here now for 20 years and staying 2 months every year, and I just added that up myself, and I'm not good at math, but that's 40 months.
Yeah, right.
And that's almost 3.5 years of rent I've paid, both mooring and actually at the campsite. I love it here.
Okay.
Everybody that are in the December members group, I look forward to seeing them. I love being here. When we come down here with the full intention of enjoying and staying and using all the facilities that are available to us, including the barber shops, the restaurants, the grocery stores, the gas pumps, everything. And we enjoy the fishing and the camaraderie.
Okay.
So all I'm trying to say is that think of us as being loyal, really loyal customers.
Right.
And we love coming here, and we appreciate the fact that you've got such a nice camp for us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next.
The next speaker is N.C. Jordan. Is there someone with the last name of Jordan here?
Yeah, but you didn't say you were.
I'm not a speaker.
Oh, okay, well, you signed up on the speaker sheet.
That's the way it is.
Okay. I think we're done with our public speakers.
Okay.
Chair, can I say something
Yes.
this time? I'm the one that put the December members on the agenda, and at this time here, there's no issue, there's no problem, there's nothing going to be discussed tonight.
Oh,
So I want to put you at ease right now.
thank
And,
you.
and if anything, I'd like to say thank you for being a December member.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 3, approval of the minutes by consent. Commissioners, everyone have a chance to read the minutes? Anybody have any issues? Therefore, the minutes will be approved by consent. Item number 4, financial statements by consent. Dina McClure, you're on.
Okay, good evening, Commissioners. I don't have a whole lot to report on the financials tonight. Bills paid in the month of May were $83,740.17. If we move to the profit and loss general fund, only a couple of things I will point out. On page 2 of the income, you will see that we received almost $18,000 in state forest sales, which is halfway down the page,
I saw that.
4515. That's nice. The expenses, we're tracking those pretty closely. Personnel services is, at the end of May, 82% of budget, and materials and services is 87% of budget. Are there any questions on this report? Hearing none, we could move to the profit and loss capital maintenance fund.
Okay.
We did have expenditures in the month of May of $14,180 for the Zero Erosion Project. That was the rest of the invoices for Mr. Aiken, who was the engineer for that project.
So how much have we paid for that project year to date now?
In this fiscal year, we've spent $25,751. We also, last fiscal year, because this started over a year ago, we actually spent $12,973 last fiscal year. That totals $38,724.
Just with our engineer?
There were other costs as well. There was purchasing the boulders, the signage, the fencing out on Zero. He had some consultations with some other engineers, but most of the work he did was for all the permitting with all the federal and state agencies, which I'll talk about a little bit more
Yeah.
in the agenda.
Do we have any more questions on the budget? Hearing none, I will consider the financial statements approved by consent. Moving to item 5, which is a public hearing for fiscal year 2017-18 budget.
I don't believe, well, is there anyone here to speak about the budget? No public speaking? I guess we can move on to the
I'm
resolution.
going to close the public hearing on the budget and go to item number 6, which is a resolution 6-21-17A to adopting the FY 2017-18 budget, and also for making appropriations and levying taxes.
I move that we adopt resolution number 6/21/17A, adopting the budget and making appropriations and levying taxes. And be it resolved that the Port of Siuslaw Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the budget for fiscal year 2017-18 in the total of $1,459,000. This budget is now on file at the Port Office at 100 Harvard Street, Florence.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, anybody? It passed unanimously. Okay, now we'll go to item 7, which discuss the FEMA grant for Zero Erosion.
Well, at the last meeting, there was discussion about canceling this grant, and I know that there were some serious concerns. Some of the concerns were, there were different opinions as to the source of the erosion. There was concern with project boundaries, and there was also concern about the cost of the repair. The discussion ended with putting the project on hold. So just a couple things for you to think about. I just brought just a little bit of information. As I just spoke earlier, the total cost we've spent is over $38,000. We budgeted $50,000 for our match. There's a lot of regulatory agencies that are on hold right now, waiting for our decision to move forward. FEMA has been here twice to inspect the erosion site. National Marine Fisheries and Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife have reviewed and approved the project. Oregon Emergency Management Office has been involved. The Army Corps of Engineers and DSL are waiting for the final repair design so the joint permit application can be finished. And city planning has also been involved. So if the decision is to withdraw from this grant, there really needs to be solid justification so the port does not lose credibility with these agencies. There's been a lot of work put into this already. If the decision is to move forward with the grant, I can start the reimbursement process. We can get 75% of that $38,000 back, or $38,000 back. I suggest that we schedule a work session to actually go through these documents and take a look at these drawings. And, we've got time, we've got plenty of time to resolve this. So
I think we should go forward with it. I think that if we don't, we're just going to put a Band-Aid over it, and if we go forward with it, we'll be able to have an actual riprap along that whole wall, or most of the wall. We don't sure how much is getting covered, and we'll have it done for all prosperity into the future, and should never have a problem there again. That's my opinion.
I agree with Ron.
Do you want to have a work session on it, or?
I think I'd like to have a work session on it. I'd like to see more of what it's gonna look like
Okay.
before they,
Okay. Okay.
if we're gonna tear back half that bank.
I know if we will lose some of the ground, we'll have to come back this way because of the slope of the riprap going in. But maybe we can get the engineer here and discuss it.
Yeah, I'd like to have a work session as well.
Okay.
I mean, I'm unclear about the cost, I'm unclear about the reimbursement. We've got 38 in, our cost's gonna be more than 38. I don't know why we'd be submitting for reimbursement. We talked about that at the work
Right,
session.
but
Nevertheless, though, we still, we were at odds with the engineer over that project, if I'm not mistaken, as to the cause of it. I'd like to go back in the work session, just be crystal clear as to what's causing that. So yes, I'm not prepared to, I'm not saying stop it, but we don't have enough information. It's pretty shook up. Not to mention, don't we have a survey going on or gonna go on, and
The survey
it might have
should
some
be close
effect
to
on
being
that?
done.
So I don't wanna do anything personally until I see where that survey is, and is that going to interfere with this project in any way?
Okay. So let's move forward with a meeting right after the survey gets completed.
That sounds
We'll have an
good.
executive session and we'll get the engineer here and we'll have a discussion.
I think that meeting will need to be an open session. I don't think it
Okay.
qualifies for
Yeah,
executive
that's
session.
fine.
But I'll get that scheduled
Okay.
once we find out more about the survey.
But we are still waiting for the actual survey. But I think it's close, isn't it? Okay, good. Next item number 8. Discuss marina dredging.
All right, so I wasn't here over Memorial Day weekend, but I heard that during the minus tides, staff witnessed some of our docks sitting in the mud. The walkway between G and F dock was tilted and, according to them, unsafe to walk on. A dock's water line broke and had to be repaired a couple of times. The bottom of the gangway next to ICM was partially airborne due to the tilt of the dock. Dredging isn't a popular subject. It's very expensive and it involves a lot of regulatory paperwork. The only return on investment is protecting our docks and maintaining the water depth. My purpose tonight is just to share with you what I know about dredging. It's not much, so I may not have answers to all of your questions. But there's 3 main things to address: cost, permits, and disposal. The marinas were last dredged in 2009. It cost $229,000 to remove 30,000 cubic yards. We were able to get $154,000 in grants, and we took out a loan for $75,000. We're still paying on that $75,000 loan, and we still owe $56,000. I've been told that it could cost up to $400,000 to do dredging, depending on how much material we remove. The permitting process is also fairly extensive. We currently have a removal permit from the Corps of Engineers that expires in 2 years and a permit with the state that expires in 3 years. But there's more permits on top of that, and that's some of the information I don't really have a lot of detail on tonight. The marinas would also need to be surveyed. I know that the Oregon Department of, the Marine Board came in 2013 and did a survey. And then there's the question of disposal. Where do we put the material if we're gonna dredge? The site 19 out behind the campground is currently full. There was 30,000, when we dredged in '09, that's where the 30,000 cubic yards went. That material can be sold. Yeah,
Do they put a limitation on each dredge site, spoil site?
good question. I'm not sure. That's something that as far as capacity,
Yes.
yes, I don't know. But that is something that I'm looking into.
Okay.
And as well as other dredge spoil sites, because there's other sites.
Well, we
But the
just
further
sold
we get
one.
away from the marina, the more expensive it gets to transport the material.
You don't know for a fact, though, that we're allowed only 30,000 here.
No, I know that when Mark Freeman was manager, he wanted to take out close to 70,000 cubic yards. But there is some old construction material in the bottom of that pit that eliminated that limited the capacity of what we could put in there. So only 30,000 cubic yards was able to be put in there. So I think that is at maximum. But I'll find out more. As I said before, there's other sites maybe available, Site 22 up on the Nordahl property, upriver, but again, it costs more to transport the material. So I talked to the Port of Coos Bay. They have the Laura, which is the state-owned dredge, and the Laura has an opening in this coming fiscal year, winter in water work, 17-18. And it's available the following winter, 18-19. There's a lot of work, there's a lot of discussions here that need to take place. Where are we gonna get the money? How are we gonna, where are we gonna put the dredge spoils? So I would like to propose that we tentatively get on the 18-19 schedule for the Laura. And, but the last thing I wanna say is the next minus tides are this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday is at 7 a.m. and Sunday's at 8 a.m. I really encourage you all to come down and take a look at the situation we have. If you want to discuss it more, I don't know if I'll have answers to your questions, but you can try.
Just the dock that St. Novelli's on there, with
Mhm.
what finger is that? Is that the A finger?
That's the A, yes. Well, A dock is the dock that's right below ICM
Yeah.
that goes out.
Then
So
where would
that's
the
just-
F be?
The what, excuse me?
F dock, where's that?
F dock is right out here where we had the log damage. So we've got E, F, G.
And F dock.
And
where you
F
had the
dock, that
shock.
walkway, was tilted and, at the low tide, at the minus tide.
So there was nothing over in the commercial side.
The ICM gangway, from what I understand, as it goes down, usually both rollers are on the dock. The dock was tilted to where one of the rollers was airborne. So when you
Yeah,
walk,
that was the gangway.
that was the
furthest
gangway,
west.
right.
I've seen that area down there, and it's basically at low tide, you would not get a big boat in there. It's pretty low.
And from what I can tell with the summer's tides, they're not even as low as they were last year and the year before. It seems that we have higher low tides, because I look for clamming and I don't like to go when it's not a good low tide. And so we're getting all of this happening now with not the lowest tides that are possible.
So anyway, it's a situation that we need to just kind of put on our project list and start
I agree.
working towards.
Can I ask another question? About 2009, you said the last time we dredged. When were these concrete docks installed out here?
I don't have that information right in front of me. I don't know.
Before all that.
Before '09?
Was it before '09? It couldn't have been much more before.
You mean FDOC or the GDOC or
We
which?
took all the cedar logs, remember? The old cedar docks out here. And
I
they-
started working here December of '09, so I
Yeah, it was
don't,
before your time.
okay.
But my point being is concrete dock draws 4 foot where cedar log draws
Oh,
18
all right.
inches. That's my point.
Okay, okay,
That's the only point I was trying to make.
all right.
So I was wondering if the dredging was,
So if I could get direction to at least get the Laura on the schedule for 18-19,
I think that's a good idea. Certainly.
thank you.
Any other questions on the dredging? Okay, we will move forward to item 10, commission reports. Nancy?
Well, I only have 3 that I did this month: watershed meeting, city council, and Lane Act. Transportation meeting is becoming interesting because the next one that they have, this is with LCOG or Lane Act, they're going to come to Florence and they want to talk to the staff or someone at the port. We're getting notice because of Joe Henry on that, and he's vice president. And when I'm at all of these meetings, it's really good for Florence. If, you know, there's not a road on the port, I mean particularly, but with the bridge work, with the things that are happening around here, and 101 that's going to be, the whole state is working to do the best they can for Florence. And so I think it serves us well to be a part of that. That's it.
Thank you, Nancy. Dina, do you have any other reports?
Oh, I can figure out something to say. I would like to schedule a special meeting for June 30th at 4 o'clock. I don't know if you've got my email on that. We would like to swear
Yes.
in our new
Yes.
commissioner. So if I can at least get a quorum, that
I'll
would
be
be,
I'll be here.
okay,
Okay.
not, okay.
Michael? No?
Terry? Okay, great, thank you.
Terry?
Um,
we're gonna have going away cake for Ron or something?
You bet.
Okay, then I'll come.
All right.
Okay,
Um,
come just for the food.
4th of July plans are going pretty well. Chamber's taking a big lead this year. The fireworks will be shot off of the barge, and it will be tied up to the pilings out there where the floating restroom is.
Okay,
And the Chamber's gonna be taking a much bigger lead on the boardwalk area. They're gonna be bringing in extra dumpsters and extra portable toilets and so on. So our staff is gonna be more focused on the campground and marina. So things are going real well there. A couple of projects that we were intending to have done by the end of this month have been delayed. The repaving and restriping of Mo's parking lot and the parking lot across the street at 1499, that got delayed due to an asphalt plant remodel or something like that. So it got bumped to actually take place the last week of July. So still on the project list, but it's a little ways out.
is summer the best time to do that, or?
That's when, well, we were hoping to have it done by now before we
Yeah.
got busy.
Yeah.
And we got postponed because of this plant, and then, you know, it's been kind of one thing after another. But they say that they can do it half and half. They're not gonna be closing off all of the parking lots all at once. They'll do it section at a time. Also, the FDOC finger slips, that's a project that we've accepted a bid on that, and that should start. They're getting the supplies, and I think we should have that done in a week or so.
Excellent.
We're also just in the process of getting bids for new security camera equipment. A lot of the equipment we have is outdated and mismatched, so we are looking at new security camera equipment as well as upgrades to the Wi-Fi equipment. That is a huge amenity that all of our guests depend on, and we really need to stay on top of that.
Is there still a special meeting, or is, because I thought I got an email that was gonna be a presentation.
We did have the presentation on the agenda for tonight, and I took it off because we
Okay.
just weren't ready. Was kind of juggling all these projects, and I thought, well, let's just put that on the back burner for right
Okay.
now, but that is still,
So it isn't something I have forgotten.
no. That's all I have.
Do you have any report on, I know you had a conflict with Frank S., or whatever it is?
Frank F.? No, I don't have any,
Just, and I'm not asking for any specifics, just.
Right.
Is he still?
he still has not gotten us the amount of insurance we need. He has provided us with a lesser amount of 300,000. And I think for a commercial boat, we were requiring $1 million, but there was some leeway there. But he has not come back. I was gonna suggest that he approach you to see if you would agree to that. Because I think he has plans to take the Frank F. out of the water in September. That's what he's told us. So, that's all.
I just thought it was parked at a peculiar place there. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything more.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Dina.
You're welcome.
The board would like to thank you for stepping up to be the interim manager, and thank you for all that you do. With that, I'm going to open the meeting once again for public comments. If somebody would like to discuss something that we discussed tonight, it would be limited to 5 minutes per speaker and a 15-minute total. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Ron Preisler. I'm a citizen of Florence.
Yes.
The only thing I have to say is the FEMA grant,
Yes.
if something happened on that dock or in that area,
Yes.
and you did not follow the engineer's report,
Yes.
we, as a port, could be in big time trouble.
Right.
You're talking millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So for the few dollars it's gonna cost us to deal with that, I think it would make sense for the board to consider that when you consider the whole issue.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ron. Anybody else?
Can I make one more comment? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I apologize because I just a little administrative thing. I didn't realize that I was gonna speak before you had talked about what was on the agenda, and I realize
Oh,
now
that's
that we've
fine.
taken it off the agenda. You know, it would be helpful if there's a way on that, if you had a first session, second session sign up, I would have signed up for the second session.
Yeah, okay.
You had no discussion, I wouldn't have wasted
Well.
your time, okay?
We don't make you sign up for the second.
Yeah, and the second session
You
is.
stand up,
It's a
talk.
freebie, yeah.
I just did that, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think at this point, have I missed anything? I am going to close the public session of the Port of Siuslaw meeting at, it looks like about 7:28. And we will adjourn and we will open an executive session